Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. And you know, if it's Wednesday, it's all about politics 101. And what a week it's been here in Kenya. I tell you, I keep saying there's never a dull moment, but this past week, I tell you, the Supreme Court, oh my, what a mess. JSC has ruled that Justice Philip Tenoy has a case to answer, and they've taken it to the president waiting for a tribunal. Will he resign before the tribunal is set up? That is the question. Also, Waiguru for Nairobi County gubernatorial seat, and Chicken Gate comes back to haunt the IEBC. Let's not forget, dozens, if not scores, if not hundreds of soldiers killed in Somalia, and we've moved on. My guest today, I tell you, when I talk about the best political tag team on TV, that's what I mean when I bring on my guest today. By the way, it looks like they went to the same tailor. I'm just saying, hashtag, I'm just saying, same tailor. It's the Mao Zedong era. It's back. The man on the far right, all the way from Emanuelia, and I hope the Emanuelians are watching tonight. All three of you, please tune in, because Barrack with the 2 R's, journalist, publisher, political analyst, is on the show. The man in the middle, oh my, my, thesaurus check, dictionary check, Wikipedia check, and every translation check, including Greek mythology and Shakespeare. Dr. PLO Lumumba, constitutional lawyer, political analyst, has finally made it on the bench this year. Their Twitter handles are @BarackM, @its PLO. Yes, it's legitimate. He just doesn't tweet that often. Mine is @Koinange Jeff. Let's use the hashtag Politics 101, because after all, it is Wednesday and it's all about politics. Sit back, start tweeting, tell a friend to tell a friend who loves politics that this is the show to be on. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Good to see you both.
Thank you.
Nice suits.
in good Kiswahili we say ni sadfa.
No tanashati.
Sadfa. It's just a sheer,
next time I'm wearing one of these.
Sheer coincidence.
No. You're seeing coincidence.
Sheer coincidence.
Gentlemen, good to see you both.
Good to see you.
PLO, let me start with you, because you're a lawyer, you're a constitutional lawyer, and you were very instrumental in the new constitution of 2010. Later on, an entire Supreme Court was set up, and this same Supreme Court has turned out to be as disappointing as all the other arms of government. PLO, Justice Tenoy, $2 million, maybe even more, maybe others in the Supreme Court compromised. What does this say about this country?
Jeff, let me give Justice Tenoy the benefit of doubt that these are allegations at this stage.
No, PLO, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. This JSC ruled this man has a case to answer.
Prima facie. So we give him the benefit of doubt, but that notwithstanding, those who sit in the high seat of judgment must be like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach. Never in the history of independent Africa has any court been so maligned as our own Supreme Court. And it is sad that we live in a time where a court such as that is exposed to such opprobrium. And I want to say that is a sad thing, because the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya has been on record as saying that he presides over an institution which is riddled with corruption. But I want to say, as a lawyer, that the Supreme Court, and indeed the entire judiciary, has good men and women. But there are bad apples in that institution. Whether the Honorable Justice Tenoy is one of them is something that is going to be addressed when the tribunal is finally constituted. But I want to tell you that that court has suffered, that institution is under scrutiny, and there are many Kenyans who now believe that you cannot get justice in the Supreme Court. I'm not one of those. But it's a sad day, and it's something that we must mourn. I've said at a different forum that a country can survive with a bad executive, a country can even live with a bad legislature, But when the judiciary is under attack, then we are going into the arena of anarchy, and that is the beginning of the end.
Absolutely. And Barrack, you could chip in now, because are you disappointed? Is this a shame that the last bastion of justice, the one that everyone thought, I think there was a poll that came out that said judiciary is the last, I guess, bastion, the last key place where people would refer to, and now this. Is it a big disappointment?
No, it is not a disappointment to me. In fact, I think we are failing to see the other side of this coin. I think it takes a lot of courage for an institution to come out and say that we are deficient. For any head of institution to come out and say that the institution that I lead is blemished, and that we have placed ourselves on the weighing scales of probity, and we have established that there is need for us to style up, there's need for us to clean our house, there's need for us to put our house in order. This entire continent of Africa is full of rotten apples everywhere. And I think that our problem here really is one of sheer hypocrisy. If we were to face it, we would say that indeed when we talk about the judiciary, we are talking about prohibitive intervention. That that which should never have happened at all has happened. And we are looking at these people and upon them to be the ones who are going to institute the relevant corrective measures. By the time we are getting there, aren't we also failing to take note of the fact that the social morass, the social fabric is rotten through and through, and that's why we are ending up where we are.
Barrack, let me stop you right there and tell you, it took Mutunga 2 years to announce that there was rot in the judiciary. 2 years. This case had been going on. If Jeffrey Kiplagat, this journalist, had not been paid his 30 million, you think we would have heard about this?
Well, if he had been paid his 30 million Kenya shillings, as he alleges that he was not paid 30 million shillings, then maybe the matter would never have gotten anywhere near the Chief Justice or the corridors of the courts of this country.
Sure.
And I also want to believe that before any matter is adjudicated within the judiciary, it goes through other processes. That you have got the investigative arms of government, you've got the prosecutorial arms of that system of justice, and that when they are flawed, like I believe the DPP's office is flawed, that the ESCC is there limping, it can't do anything, then the court system waits. And if you came to me, I'm not a lawyer, I'm only an artist, but if you came to me and I was a lawyer, I was a judge, I was a magistrate, I would adjudicate things on the basis of the evidence and the facts that you presented before me. Now, if that is already flawed, by the time it's getting before me, even if I had cause to believe that the accused person was as guilty as they were indeed accused, I would still place the evidence that has been adduced before the courts on the weighing scales.
PLO, let me ask you this. Justice Tunoi has vehemently defended his position. In fact, he said he's not resigning. He's not going to resign. If you were Justice Tunoi and you know the matter is going to a tribunal, would you resign?
No, I would not.
You would still...
If I believe that I'm being wrongly accused, I would face the tribunal. The tragedy of tribunals in this country is that the bar has been set so low, as we saw in the Nancy Baraza case, that you would be removed for the slightest thing that is alleged against you. But the truth is, Justice Tunoi has taken what I call the Kenyan default position. The Kenyan default position is that when you are accused, deny, deny, deny. Remember, the immediate reaction of Justice Tunoi was, I do not know Kiplagat at all.
Correct.
Then it turns out that they are village mates. Then it turns out that they belong to the same clan. Then it turns out that they know each other. That is not to say that the allegations being made by Kiplagat are true, but I believe that the judge did not receive the necessary counsel at a critical moment when he should have reacted differently. And my view, therefore, is that if he believes, as he says he does, and his lawyer says he does, that he is innocent, then it is proper that he goes through the tribunal. Remember that Justice Tunoi is 72 years of age. He's been in the bench for a long time.
Yeah. Is that a helicopter?
That is a helicopter.
Are you people, is someone leaving early? Is that one of yours?
We have not reached that stage yet.
We're on the way.
All right, PLO. Carry on.
Before we were rudely interrupted.
Yes, correct.
by those who fly via helicopters. I was saying that Justice Tunoi has served the judiciary for a long time. And in the twilight of his career, I think he should have left 2 years ago. Then it turns out that these allegations are being made. The proper thing is that he goes through the process. Remember, a few years ago, Justice Waki went through this entire process. A number of accusations were made against him, but he came out clean. He came out having proven that he was innocent. And that is what I think Justice Tunoi should do.
Yeah.
But I believe that there are people who will try to persuade him that you are in danger of losing your lifetime saving. You are in danger of doing many things. And I'm sure in this country that has a jaundiced way of looking at things from an ethnic perspective, people from his clan may even want to persuade him to do it for the sake of the tribe. My view is he owes this country a duty to go through the process so that we know the allegations are credible or they are not credible. And even we forget about, we talk about Justice Tunoi, but we forget about the other side of the coin.
Yes.
These are issues that we should speak about so that corruption is dealt a coup de grace.
Speaking of the other side, Barrack, I mean, look, if the governor of the county of Nairobi can allegedly bribe a Supreme Court justice, how come no one's talking about that side? How come he hasn't resigned? How come Waitito, well, he's gone to court, but, you know, how come he hasn't resigned?
Well, first about the boy from the village. There are many boys from Emanyudia, where I was born and brought up, and from time to time one of them may come up and say that we are from the same village, and I may not immediately remember that this is Oluombo, son of you know, from
you people are being too kind.
From Emanyudia.
There's cell phone evidence.
When my memory is jogged a little bit, I may just be able to remember that this is actually Oluombo, son of Mnandeka, from Emanyudia. That is possible.
Yes.
But to answer your question a lot more frontally about the other side of the coin, I think as we said a little earlier, the social and moral morals is completely rotten within this country. And I want to start speaking for myself as a Christian gentleman, especially on this Wednesday, which is the Ash Wednesday.
Thank you.
I think that the road begins with the moral and ethical pillars of society. That we do not have any platform of values that we can talk about. If we had any values, we ate them. And if there are any that were left, I think the rat ate those ones. And so there's nothing that is left. A self-respecting individual who has been adversely mentioned in circumstances such as this, I think should step aside and should say that I would like to provide a scope for my probity to be placed on the scales of integrity, and eventually for me to clear my name. And I also want to observe, because I sat on this bench a few months ago, and I said that Anne Waiguru should step aside and allow herself to be investigated and to allow her name to be cleared. I see that after stepping aside and asking for light duties, she seems to think that those light duties are going to be found in being governor of Nairobi County. But I digress. If I come back to the point is this, that my good friend Dr. Evans Kidero has been adversely mentioned in these matters, and he has been adversely mentioned in very many other matters. And isn't it just in order that he should step aside? Where are the cold voices that were baying for Anne Waiguru's blood? Where are those people who were baying for the blood of the people who have been mentioned in the Eurobond? Does it become a different case when it is one of their own who seems to be involved? And we are not saying here that we have got any concrete proof, let alone even evidence. We do not necessarily
what kind of
have,
people?
but I would like the people who have been baying for other people's blood and who have been saying that we are the ones who are going to put in place the right kind of government to ask the governor of Nairobi to step aside.
Absolutely. PLO, after all, I mean, how many people have like 200 million shillings lying around? $2 million or more, maybe.
You know, Jeff,
what kind of people?
Jeff, one of the things before I talk about $200 million,
Shillings.
200 million shillings,
Yes.
is that this country is in what I call a moral crisis. I'm told that after my good friend Miguna was here and mentioned many things,
Yes.
individuals on social media from his ethnic group
Yes.
were busy, as some of them may be busy shortly, saying, why does he feel bitter when one from his community has found an opportunity to eat? In other words, we are incapable as a nation of seeing things the way they ought to be seen, that wrong is wrong. We have, as a nation, taken the view that if a thief is from your tribe,
He's a good thief.
then he's a good thief.
He's our thief.
You own the thief, and we are not saying anybody is a thief, but we are telling Kenyans that the long-term health of this country not only requires but demands that when people are found to have engaged in activities which are inimical to the good order of this country, then it behooves them to do that which is right and good, to allow institutions to do that which is right and good. And once they have been vindicated, they come back even stronger. But there are individuals with a lot of money in this country.
Yes.
And these individuals are individuals who now say, you can do all you want, but ultimately you will have your say, but we will have our way. Individuals such as this, seeing us on Jeff Koinange Live,
Yes.
think we are comedians
Yeah,
and
they think-
entertainers.
Correct.
That we'll talk here when everybody else is sleeping. But at the end of the day, they'll do and get what they want.
And get away with it.
Our duty is to tell them again and again that we will shout like John the Baptist before us, because we believe that their long-term health and their children's long-term health not only requires but demands that we point out that which is harmful to this country.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, real quick before we go to break. Barrack, should Tunoi resign?
I think so.
PLO?
I have no doubt in my mind that he should.
Good. We're going to take a break, come back, talk about what you mentioned. Waiguru going forward. Lighter duties, Nairobi governor. Can she do it? And who are the other players? Will Kidero run for Nairobi for re-election? I wonder. Let's take a break.
Wonder no more.
The two gentlemen who came from the same tailor. I love the suits. I love the suits. Keep tweeting at Barrack M, at it's PLO, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag Politics 101. I'm telling you, when I talk about the best political tag team on TV, I'm talking about Dr. PLO, Lumumba, and Barrack, Muluka, all the way from Emmanuel. Wow! What a show. Fire extinguisher check, dictionary check, thesaurus check. Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes a quick break. We'll be back with plenty more in a moment.